opening the floodgates. We are streaming. We are opening the floodgates of prosperity. Today on New Thought Tuesdays, we are talking about unleashing that creative abundance. And our premise is it's in the giving we receive. And there's a lot of nuance in that, but it's all about this season of light, season of love, season of creativity, season of joy. So today we're going to our focus, our intention, and my name is Dean, by the way, Dean Regan, and I'm with Rich Smith today. Dean Regan, living in concert with life. Rich Smith, the infinite filmmaker. We're talking about elevating your creative power and how you can discover that profound connection between giving and receiving, and how you can create that in your creative process, in your creative business, in your art. And we're going to use ancient wisdom, new thought, ancient wisdom to talk about exploring this wisdom of how you can embrace giving and receiving in your artistic endeavors. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. And why would we even talk about that? We're diving into that spiritual principle that giving is a dynamic force. It is a dynamic force. This giving there's this flow, this principle of reciprocation, giving and receiving. It's a dynamic force, and we use it in our creativity. So bringing awareness to that use and mindfulness to that use makes that use even more powerful. And that's what we're going to talk about today in the inner circle. After we have our conversation about the topic, we go into our inner circle. If you're interested in joining us today, if you're on Facebook right now, there is probably a link below that you can click, or in the future, you can go to newthoughttuesdays.com and click on I want to be reminded, and we will send you a link to join us in person. So welcome. Hey, Richard, how are you?
Hey, great. Happy holiday. Did you have a nice Christmas?
Great. We celebrate Christmas here. And oh, I love this. I was on with, I said, Alexa, do you celebrate Christmas? And Alexa responded, I celebrate anything that brings love and happiness to the world. And I love that. I love that. So I'm here to, there's Alexa. Christmas is celebrated on the Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. So it's in the giving we receive, Rich.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Well, we can talk about that. We'll explore some of the concepts of giving and receiving. I look at it as if, and I was looking up some stuff and researching, and I come up with that whole idea of a boomerang. It's like a boomerang. You
Good
throw a
idea.
boomerang out, spins, and it comes back to you. And the same thing, whatever you put out there is going to come back to you. Usually trifold, it comes back bigger and better than you even put out there. I know that even during the holidays, we put out there, we set the table, and my wife did, a big decorations and stuff on the table. And we invited people over, and just putting that out there and that love, it just came back to us by people showing up that weren't expected to show up. And it was great. It was great. I don't want to go into the details of that, but
Sure.
it was
Sure.
good.
But I love the idea of that boomerang because though I have not successfully thrown a boomerang in my life, I have, knowing that idea of the throwing of the boomerang as you are doing it with greater skill and nuance, and you're getting the uplift in the boomerang and allowing it to circle back. There is a certain amount of you don't scatter shot a boomerang. You've got skill, you've got finesse, and it's the
Yeah.
same thing. It's the same thing when we're talking about giving and receiving.
Yeah.
There's a finesse that's involved. There's a spiritual principle to be honored and used.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not only giving out love and compassion and joy, but if you give out negative things too, you're going to get back. negative things. And it's a ripple effect. You put it out there and the universe picks up on that and it affects everybody. Everything you do affects the world. We're all interconnected. It's that unity theory. We're just one power, one presence, one life. That life is my life. That life is the life of everybody. We're all
Right.
interconnected. So when you're putting out there something, not only is it a boomerang, it's like a ripple effect too. Because if you can do something really nice for somebody, I remember one time years and years and years ago, as part of my spiritual transformation, I was young, I was going to college, I was on the subway, and some some person got up, and I had a bunch of stuff, my books, and I couldn't carry them. And some guy got up and gave me his seat. And I said, "Oh, thank you very much." And he goes, "Just pass it on." It's like pass it on. And that's been my mantra since then. Pass it on. Because that's what happens. You do something kind for somebody, they're going to go out and do something kind for somebody else. If you hurt somebody, they're going to go out and hurt other people. It's a ripple effect, whatever you put out there. So boomerang and ripple.
Boomerang, that energy that I perceive an energy, I visualize an energy, and I feel it oftentimes with ideas that I bring out that I'm giving. And we're talking about today, it is in the giving we receive. Oh, no, I'm going to go back to, hey, if you want to experience something negative, you get to do that. That's these principles. You can use these principles however you want them. We are particularly at New Thought Tuesdays, Rich with the Infinite Filmmaker, me with Living in Concert with Life. We are dedicated to using this information for the good. But if you are very excited to feel grief and longing and despair, you are welcome to use these principles to enhance your sense of grief and longing and despair. It's not what we encourage you to do. We move in terms of that openness, that freedom, that love, that light, that flexibility. And that's where we get more of an uplift. And when we're talking about, so it is as you believe, it is as you bring your consistent thought.
Yeah.
That's what you begin to receive. As you give out this consistent thought, you will also then start getting back that same energy that you're giving out. And in the Science of Mind, which is a philosophy that was founded by Ernest Holmes, it's a New Thought teaching. Ernest Holmes talks about that giving, that cause and effect, that reciprocation, that giving and receiving. And we use the term today, it's in the giving we receive. A lot of people come into this kind of teaching and go, okay, I really want to get something, so I'm going to do this to get that possession, that relationship, that money, that I'm going to do this in order to get. So I want to get this thing. So I'm going to do this nice thing. I can get that thing that I want. What we're saying today, New Thought Tuesdays, is it's in the giving we receive. Follow me for a second. It's in the act of authentically, lovingly, joyously giving that is the sum total of the receipt. So as you were talking about your celebration for the holidays, Rich, and laying the table, the tablescape, as you will.
The tablescape.
The tablescape, we were talking about that. As Jen was building that tablescape, as you were building the mental equivalent of this experience that you were bringing into your world, into your family, into your home, you were pre-paving, as Esther Hicks would say, you were pre-paving an idea. And in that pre-paving of the idea, you were actually giving to those energies that are on their way, that boomerang flowing back to you. And you were receiving at the same time. You were receiving this feeling tone of joy and goodness and light. So it was in the very giving of this idea that you received. Now, you also got welcome adventures by people coming that you were not anticipating
Yeah.
anticipating coming. You had a wonderful time. Your family had a wonderful time. It was just, you know, there were material things that also came. There were activities and actions that also came. What we're talking about is, yes, that's all fine and good, and it absolutely, that's how the principle works. Just be aware of that feeling tone of the givingness.
Yeah.
Be sufficient
Yeah.
of expressing love, and therein is great power. And that's now talk then Rich, can you talk from that idea of like talk from like that idea of the universe, or like the colossal movie set of life. You know, if you're working in that area, there's those fundamental laws in place. Talk
Yeah.
about, we can use it in our creative process.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we talk about laws that you set a law into motion for the thing that you want to create. And there's a law of reciprocity. What you put out, you get back. There's a law of reflection. It reflects back to you. There's law of, give me another law, Dean.
Cause and effect,
Cause and effect.
the
Whatever
law
you
of
put out,
mind.
you set a cause into motion for the effect that you're going to have. Experiencing like there's also the law of circulation too, you know, which is like like if you're looking at your life as if it's a movie, it's a grand production. Well, there's a law at play here that just like gravity, you throw something up, it's going to come back. Well, you put out love and creativity and wealth and opportunity, that's going to circulate back to you. And you're going to find in your own life that you get more of that. If you know what I'm saying, it's like, okay, we invited our neighbor, okay, because she didn't really have anywhere to go. She's an older lady and stuff. And, you know, just to be kind and nice, right? And then
Right.
she comes and she brought me a new vintage shirt for my 50s vintage. I love the 50s look. And somehow or another, she knew that I liked this stuff, and she must have gone on the internet and searched and got me my new vintage shirt. I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
So you put it out there without expecting. It was selfless love and compassion for somebody else. And then all of a sudden you get something back unexpected in return. That's the way the universe works. It's always gonna, it's always gonna fulfill that energy that you're putting out there, no matter what it is. It's
And
the energy that you have behind it and the intention. Like you say, not putting it out there, not inviting, oh, I'll invite this neighbor so she'll bring me a nice new shirt. You know, it's
right.
like, no, you invite the neighbor because you feel compassion for her and you want to invite her. And she enjoyed herself. She had a great time. And it renewed our relationship. And who knows how many people that she went out, instead of being home alone on Christmas and depressed and mean and stuff, she went out and probably spread the love and the joy because she had a great time here. And that's the way it works. That's the
And
way this stuff
that's how
works.
it also works. Whatever your creative source is, whatever, whether it's acting or directing or writing or singing or accounting or law or teaching, whatever your creative bent is, you can bring this idea of it's in the giving we receive to your work. I know when I was more frequently on stage, I considered every character that I did, every concert that I sang, to be a spiritual practice, that there was some kind of human experience that I was celebrating that would reverberate through the audience in that feeling tone of that vibration of creative energy. And whether you're above the line or below the line in film, you are part of a creative expression, whether you're putting stands together by the semi trailer to get ready for the lighting, or whether you're speaking the lines into the camera or creating the whole environment. You are creative in your expression. And we bring this to our work, we bring this to our communities.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, you could be like an actor, name actor who comes into a small theater and volunteers to work with the actors. And they don't just do it out of the pure love and passion for their
Craft.
craft. That's the word I'm looking for. And then you don't know that later on, these people that they were mentoring could become really successful, cast them in a movie that gets them an Academy Award or something. And without even thinking of it, they were just giving of themselves
Right.
to younger people who maybe they can inspire.
Yeah.
And these younger people grow up, and I mean that's just the way it works. When I was uh, producing films, we did an independent film, and Warner Brothers picked it up. I think everybody probably knows the story who's been listening to me. And they distributed it. We didn't see any money. I was really depressed about it and stuff. And however, what I got out of it was that I my goal was to make films that inspire, enlighten, and entertain. My whole vision for my life is to make changes in this world, to create change on a huge level. I thought maybe someday I'd win an Academy Award on a big film and it would get recognition. It would change people's consciousness. And that's what I'm all about, right? But what happened is what I realized is that now that I'm older and I do this work through New Thought Tuesdays and the Infinite Filmmaker, that my vision is to have other filmmakers and inspire them so they go out and make the movies that inspire and enlighten and entertain and change the world. And so I think that that's what it is. It's like you don't know what you're doing, but what you're doing could affect millions and millions and millions of people. And I have no idea that any of you guys out there watching this and learning from Dean and I can go out and create something that's going to change the world. And that's what we're here for. Change your thinking, change your life, change the world.
Yep. Recognizing that there is so much perfection unfolding, that idea of having your thoughts be instrumental in change, remembering that thoughts are taking actions. The thoughts add to our actions. The thoughts that you think, the intentions that you have, and the feeling underneath them create vibrations in our world. So I know that what we're doing right here, it is my belief and my faith that what we do in New Thought Tuesdays, what Rich does in The Infinite Filmmaker, and what I do in Living in Concert with Life, what we do here is changing the world.
Yeah.
Bringing that ripple effect, that boomer, we're throwing out this boomerang of love and ideas to help the world. And speaking of ideas to help the world, that's what we do in the inner circle. And I think it's about time, Mr. Smith, to go into the inner circle. I think our time here is about done for the day. Is there anything that you wanted to close out with?
No, I think we covered it all. And I just want to say on New Thought Tuesdays, when you come into the inner circle, anything we say there is private. We shut the cameras off, we stop broadcasting, and we can share our personal experiences and learn from each other. And so please join us. I think I posted in my Infinite Filmmaker group. There's a link there. If you're watching from my Infinite Filmmaker group, there's a link. Click on it. Come on in. We're going to let you in and join us in the inner circle.
Excellent.
Or go to newthoughttuesdays.com and click on the link, and we'll remind you every week.
There's that too.
Show up for yourself. Show up for the world. So we'll see you later.
See you later.
Okay, take care. Bye.